Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is some type of artist, and last time we finally finished off some stuff in, well, we were doing some more side quests. We started doing some of the magic bean planting and the Skulltula getting from there. Now we're in Jabu-Jabu's belly. Yeah, these bubbles can only be slashed by your sword until you get the boomerang. Or I don't know, maybe Deku Sticks can get them too, but... Oh, actually, you know what? I don't even think we need to defeat these. I think we can just switch here. So Lord Jabu-Jabu's belly, definitely, probably the most unpleasant looking dungeon in the game, and I don't mean that because it's on the N64. I mean that because it's gross. Being in this thing is super gross. We can't really do much there, unfortunately. We're just gonna go straight through here. Jabu-Jabu's belly is definitely one of the weirder dungeons in the game. To go through the entire belly of, like, a thing is really freaking weird. Oh, it's Ruto. We found her. We found Geppetto inside the giant whale. You! Who are you? I am Ruto, Princess of the Zoras? What? Are you saying my father asked you to come here to save me? I'd never ask anyone to do such a thing. Letter in a bottle? I have no idea what you're talking about. My father is worried about me? I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, I can't go home right now, and you, get out of here, understand? Oh, she's swell. Oh no! I fell down this frickin' hole. This whatever hole this could possibly be. Are you still hanging around here? I told you to go away. I'm okay. I have been going inside Lord Jabu-Jabu's belly since I was a little, but Lord Jabu-Jabu is very strange today. There are electrified jellyfish and strange holes around. On top of that, my precious stone was... That's none of your business. Anyway, you, go home now, understand? And you gotta keep talking to her, unfortunately. You're that worried about me? Then I will give you the honor of carrying me. However, I won't leave until I find the thing I'm looking for. You'd better believe me. I don't actually know what happens if you, like, try to leave the dungeon with her. Because believe it or not, you can actually go back. But you can actually just throw her around and pop some of these bubbles. Get a little satisfaction from doing that. Because Ruto is kind of a brat when you first meet her. You also, for whatever reason, you also don't want to, like, throw her in deep water, because then she'll disappear and go back to where you first found her, I think. I don't know, maybe she'll go back to the start of the room. Will you come here? Thank you. I want to get rid of all these things. These things are super annoying. You gotta wait until they, like, their flashing red things go away. Or else if you just hit them again, it's not going to do anything. Because I wanted to aim at that, and I'm doing a bad job, but we got it, it's alright. Really? Oh boy. Alright, so you press the switch and the water rises. If Ruto's down here, she'll disappear, so don't bother doing that just yet. This is also on a timer as well, so keep in mind you don't have much time to really take advantage of that water being risen. Oh, dang it. I was hoping I can get back there. So, if you're not going for Skulltula, or you just want to do whatever you want to do, what you want to do is get Ruto down here when the water's shallow again and throw her up to the opposite side. Then it's safe for you to, like, you know, go down and press the switch and get to the other side as well. And I wouldn't take any chances. I would wait until it goes all the way to the bottom, because you don't want to backtrack and find Ruto again. I mean, you probably just don't want to deal with Ruto, period. I don't mean to, like, hate on her or anything, but I don't know. She is pretty annoying when she's a kid. She's more sympathetic, I think, when she's an adult, but... Because Link basically agrees to marry her in exchange for the spiritual stone, but he's an idiot kid that doesn't know what anything means, so... He doesn't realize how seriously Ruto takes it. So when he finds her again as an adult, she is understandably pretty pissed, but to her credit, she gets over it pretty fast. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't mean to throw her. She makes like a funny noise too. If you go down there in that tunnel, if you dive, there's gonna be a another business scrub selling you something. Forget what it is. I think I've only been down there once, to be honest. It feels like there's so many places you can go to in Jabu-Jabu, especially in that room with all the holes. The holes all drop you in the same room, though. That's the thing. Yeah, now we're back where we started. Yeah, the holes all drop. I always get confused in that room too. Even though I know what I need to do, and I know what hole I need to go down. It's always just kind of feels like the dungeon is bigger than it really is because of all the different options. And you just want to avoid the jellyfish altogether for a while. This dungeon really isn't that big at all. In fact, we might be able to do this faster than the Dodongo's Cavern. Some of these switches require you to leave Ruto behind. And that's one of them. Luckily, on the switches when you do have to just kind of leave her here, she will stay there. It's not like you have to go find her again. Oh, we don't want you yet. We need the boomerang first. She will be a little pissed off, though. How inconsiderate. How could you leave me behind? If you're a man, act like one. Take responsibility. And she just, like, I don't know. She just kind of, like, gets in this bratty pose, too. It doesn't have to be bratty. It could be, like, a sad pose, like if someone's sad and they're just kind of, like, curl themselves in a ball. But her, it just seems like she's like, I didn't get my way, so I'm just gonna be like this until I get my way. The switch, it doesn't look like you can press it down with your weight alone. Link. Okay, I was carrying Ruto anyway, Navi. Yeah, and some switches require, you know, more than that. So set her down so you can deal with these here too. I think you can actually use Deku Nuts to pop these things out. Yeah, it's definitely a lot helpful. In fact, you know what? I just, and I never really try my options at things. But you can probably just use Din's Fire on these guys and just take them all out, can't you? No, you can't. They're immune to Din's Fire. Are you kidding? What the heck, dude? That's stupid. Oh boy. Well, I guess we're doing this the old-fashioned way with the slingshot. Come out of there, you. Oh. Yeah, I didn't realize Deku Nuts. Well, it didn't really show off very well there, but Deku Nuts are actually have a lot of fun uses that I've been seeing in randomizers. Like, I didn't know you could pop those things out of the ground like that. They might even work against, like, the business scrubs and the Deku scrubs, too. I think they did something with Stalfos as well, I'm not sure, but unfortunately, a lot of the things in the game, like the boomerang here, aren't utilized as best they could. I honestly feel like the sword and the slingshot do most of what you need to do in this game. But now that we got the boomerang, we can collect faraway Skulltula tokens, and I guess complete this dungeon as well. Honestly, I feel like the only point to the boomerang outside of this dungeon is to collect gold Skulltula tokens. Because the boomerang, well, I mean, to be fair, I was gonna say the boomerang doesn't really, like, damage enemies, it just stuns most of them. Except for maybe small ones like Keese, but, I don't know. To be fair, it always kind of did that. So you're gonna find a bunch of these tentacle things in Jabu-Jabu, as if this place wasn't disgusting enough. It looks like you're just, like, constantly attacking uvulas, and my throat is, like, hurting just thinking about it. And that'll open up different parts of the dungeon for you. You got the map! As much as I love maps, I've never found the maps in a lot of Zelda games to be that useful. Kind of like them better as just like the overworld maps and stuff like that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just... Well, it's not that useful to me in Ocarina of Time, because I usually know my way around pretty well. But maybe in some other games that I'm not as familiar with, it's more helpful. Uh-oh. Got a bunch of these bubbles, but luckily, our friend the boomerang will just make quick work of them. I will say, though, I do appreciate the upgrades to the boomerang in the Wind Waker, where you can target more than one thing at once. I honestly felt like that was a good way to, like, make Zelda feel more fresh by adding twists to already existing items. Like how the quick shot, the hook shot became the claw shot in Twilight Princess, and then just giving you two of them on top of that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Twilight Princess is probably my least favorite Zelda game I've played, to be honest, but it does have some pretty cool stuff with the dungeons and the items in it. I mean, some of the items are pretty much even more useless than a couple of the items in Ocarina of Time outside of their dungeons, but the dungeons themselves are usually pretty fun, if I do say so myself. I don't know if I would ever Let's Play Twilight Princess, but if I did end up Let's Playing Wind Waker, I feel like I'd pretty much be obligated to Let's Play Twilight Princess at that point then. Because Twilight Princess, I think, would be an easier game for me to Let's Play than Wind Waker, just because it's, you know, it's more of a traditional game. Yeah, this thing doesn't, like, reach all the way up, so, you know, don't get knocked around like that. I usually just like to circle around a little bit. It's just so gross how it crumbles all together. It's so weird. Unfortunately, there's nothing else to really do here. We just kind of do that so we can open up the main, or not the main hallway, but, you know, the center one in this disgusting hallway. I remember when I first got here, I think I had trouble on it. I was on a bowling league, and one of the guys that worked at the bowling alley really liked Ocarina of Time, so I would talk to him about it sometimes. I would ask him questions about, like, the lore of Zelda and stuff, since I was pretty much still new to Zelda lore at that time, because I didn't get much of Zelda from Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, so I remember asking him stuff about, like, the Sacred Realm and what exactly it was and what the Triforce was and stuff like that. And I think he helped me out for Jabu-Jabu's belly as well, because, I don't know, this place just kind of gives me a headache. But I remember one time, there was also, I was like in 7th grade around the time, and there was this girl, and she was probably like a senior in high school, and she worked in the bowling alley too. Her name was Heather, and I had a big crush on her. And I remember seeing the guy talking with her a lot, and I thought, you know, he liked her, so I don't know if I, like, intentionally did this or not, but I remember when he was in the middle of, like, flirting with her, I just barged into the conversation and started talking nerd stuff about Zelda with him. I think I embarrassed him, because it's like, who is this little kid that is bugging you about this nerd game? It's like, I don't know. It was funny. She was so pretty, though. Like, I still think back, it's like, it's no wonder I had a crush on her. I don't ever know what happened to her. I stopped bowling at that alley a long time ago, and I don't even think she was around for much longer after that, too, because I went bowling through that alley all the way through community college, and I just don't remember seeing her there all that much after, you know, when I initially started there my first few years. I mean, she probably went to college herself and moved away and, you know, did something else with her life. I think she was, like, the daughter of the owner or something. I can't really remember. I'm honestly surprised I remembered her name, because when I think about all the girls I've liked throughout the years, you know, she's never really one I think about, because I didn't, like her, you know, I just had, like, a crush on her. And it wasn't someone, like, I thought about, like, outside of, you know, actually being there. It's just, like, you know, the kind of thing where it's, like, when you see her, you know, you just, like, blush a bunch. It's honestly just, like, a very, like, you know, younger kid, you know, and a little infatuated with an older girl. That's all there really is to it. And in some ways, it's like, I kind of prefer that just because of, you know, how much sleep I've lost over having feelings for other people that just, you know, that were legit deeper feelings that were just, like, never returned. Like, you were supposed to face the other way, dude. Well, anyway, you're supposed to use your boomerang to stun this guy, and I'm going to use Deku Sticks to hurry this up. Or defeat him in one hit, I guess, if you do a jump attack with one. Because this battle, it's not hard. It's just annoying. Oh, I didn't know he dropped hearts. Probably should have picked those up. Sorry, I think there's a fairy up here. Fairy? Fairy. Fairy? I always have trouble picking these fairies up. I don't know why. Deku Nuts, Deku Nuts. Hello, just go face him, thank you. But anyway, we're free from Ruto now. Not that it matters, like, god damn, we are really just breezing through this dungeon. It's just, I don't know. The kid dungeons really aren't tough at all. I'm honestly surprised. I'm gonna say this. I kind of think the first dungeon is the toughest of them all, because it has some things in it that you would normally wouldn't do. Like jumping all the way from the top to break that web. And I think it's like also one of the only places in the game that actually has webs that you need to catch on fire. Everything else just feels very standard Zelda-y. But I don't know, I guess that's kind of Zelda-y too, I guess. I may also just be thinking about when I, like, you know... Oh, that's right, I need a box. May have noticed the boxes on the other side. What their point was. Because, like, why wouldn't it just be, like, you know, grass or something? Well, it wouldn't be grass because you're inside of a fish, but then again... Why would a box make any more sense? Yeah, unfortunately, you have to step on it and then kind of put it down. This is the first dungeon, too, that you can get all the Skulltulas in on your first go. Because, like I said, for whatever reason, the first two dungeons as a kid you do need to come back to if you want to finish clearing them out. I for the life of me can't imagine why, but you can. For that matter, Dodongo's Cavern is the only dungeon that you can return to as an adult. Because the Great Deku Tree's mouth is closed when you're an adult, and Jabu-Jabu is just straight up missing. So I can show this off now, if I did indeed get them all, which I did. There's going to be a gold Skulltula token next to the area on the map. And this actually works for normal areas too, although it does kind of... I'm still, after all these years and all the times playing it, I'm still not exactly sure if the gold Skulltula next to an area name on the regular overworld map indicates if it's all the Skulltulas between child and adult, or if there's going to be like one there when you're a child, but it won't be there if you haven't gotten them all as an adult, or something like that. I've still never really been sure how that worked. Link, just fall down. Thank you. Alright, let's go face the boss. One of the most disgusting bosses in the game. Well, the way it dies is disgusting. Baronade, the bioelectric anemone. So this thing is actually kind of intimidating compared to the other bosses. I mean, King Dodongo should have been intimidating, but he was piss easy. I'm not saying this guy is necessarily hard, but definitely more of a challenge than the first two bosses combined. Oh man, why do I keep losing my lock on? Just afraid to stay in one spot. So you're going to want to use your boomerang to like knock these things down, and then eventually it'll send those out, and then do the boomerang there, and then you can start dealing with the jellyfish along the side. Try to get as many as you can, because he will call them back fairly quickly. Yep, We only got half of them there. Oh well. Or did I get... Or are there only 5? I thought there were 6. Oh, I thought I was waiting for the boomerang to come back. Sometimes the boomerang takes a while to return. Especially if you're, like, backing away from it. So after that, there's even more. And we'll start going around the room, too. So, the jellyfish might block it a few times, but keep trying to get your boomerang through it, and you shouldn't have much of an issue. Oh. Get your shield up too, if you can. That might help with the stuff here. It's gross. It's so gross how this thing was living inside Lord Jabu-Jabu. It's like, no wonder it's in pain. Well, it's not really in pain, it just swallowed Ruto. It said it looks green around the gills. I guess that means it's sick, but it didn't really look sick. Well, then again, I don't really know what to compare it to. It's like dripping little green stuff, too. That's so nasty. And there we go, and oh, it gets all this... Ugh. Ugh. God. Can we get out of this dungeon now? Like, I am legit feeling sick in my throat. Get your heart container, too. That should be 10 heart containers. Pretty good, because we're going to be going to be an adult soon, and that's a good, I feel like that's a good starting point for how many hearts you should have. You're late. What took you so long? You're useless. I was just lonely, that's all. Just a little. Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. For whatever reason, I always thought you were coming back to Zora's River after this, but you're just back in Zora's Fountain. You're just like, I don't know why I kept thinking you were in Zora's River so often when I was a kid. But now, after being like a total brat, now she like totally wants you in every way. It's like, I'm sorry, this face is way too seductive for like a 10-year-old. You looked cool. Cooler than I thought you would, anyway. Just a little. Well, anyway, you saved me, so I guess I'll reward you? What do you wish? Just tell me. I want that spiritual stone. You mean the spiritual stone of water? Zora's sapphire, don't you? My mother gave it to me before she died and said I should give it only to the man who can be my husband. You might call it the Zora's engagement ring. So you better marry me when you get older, because I definitely want your bod now. Okay, we're gonna stop that. But oh, the cool lighting. I love the lighting. I love the lighting so much when the spiritual stones show up. I love these spiritual stones. I don't know, I've always really liked the design of them too. They always felt so much cooler than the medallions you get later on. The medallions honestly feel pretty useless in comparison to the spiritual stones for me. Her most precious possession? You don't know what she's talking about, but you finally collected all 3 spiritual stones. I don't know what the hell you mean by marry, but I got what I want, so later. So, now let's go back to Zelda and see what all the fuss is about. Don't tell my father. Wink. It's so weird. But anyway, thank God we're out of that dungeon. So in the next episode, I guess we're gonna go see Zelda. And probably progress the plot some more, unless there's another... Well, I don't know. We could also go collect old Skulltula tokens, too. We can get the one here, for that matter. Yeah, maybe... I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, to be perfectly honest. But I'll see you guys in the next episode, alright? Bye-bye.